Good afternoon. Welcome to lesson 4 for Pat Ruddy for Todd Laxton's level 3 work experience portfolio. We had quite a layoff with a recent snowstorm, and so in my video editing and adding into my work experience portfolio, noted a few things that we saw through the first 3 lessons for Pat. And one of the ones that I think most importantly we've touched on a little bit, but something we'll work on today, is roll and release of the golf club. This will be the last full swing lesson that we do, because we'll work on short game in the next one. If we can get the chipping green to thaw out and get all the snow off of it, maybe we'll go find an open green on the golf course to do that a little later for lesson number 5 in a couple of days here with some sunshine. But again, roll and release is the thing that we need to work on. And then something that I found from the 3 videos or the 3 sessions that we have done in the past was we've got some posture questions that I have for Pat, and it's not necessarily new, but kind of solidified my thought that right about impact and a little bit after, just a little bit of a stand up. And as you'll recall, the miss being low and right probably shows that that's a very good possibility that spine angle changes on the way to impact, either in trying to hit the ball a little too hard or perhaps just trying to place or aim or steer the golf balls we've talked about in lessons past as well. Good swings, Pat. Nice warm up. So we've used our handy dandy swim noodle and we've put it over here to the left. We're now on the mats full time for the season because the divots are just not going to rejuvenate at the overnight temperatures we have now. So we're going to use that noodle today, and we're going to put it right in the middle of his head, right on top of his hat, and have him work on keeping that noodle right off the front of his hat all the way through impact to reinforce that spine angle all the way to impact. So again, roll and release is our first part.
7?
Well, you know what? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be 7, because in your practice habits, your favorite club is your 7, and that's all you ever hit. So going forward, I want to make sure that we change that out a little bit and give you more of a reinforcement with that longer, wider plane. So let's go a little more club, a little less loft, and we'll work on that. A couple of practice swings first.
Okay, so you want the bill of the cap?
So yeah, I want, and if it can be, if we need to extend it out so it actually physically touches your hat, that's okay.
So this is the Butch Harmon thing.
Yeah, the other way we can do it is we can certainly do the old club on your head idea and move it on your way to impact. I just felt like this was a better way for you to at least get some practice with something.
Okay, so stance would be...
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Okay, good. So the idea is, yeah, all the way back to at least here, that you're trying to keep that head nice and still and in that same place. Yeah. Yes, right there. That reinforces that lesson 2 kind of reach idea that we had too, low and long after impact.
Okay.
And you're not manipulating your spine, moving your body around. So a couple practice swings, just let it, don't worry about a golf ball.
Okay, so the head, so the ball's right about here-ish.
Here-ish, back foot-ish?
No, right here.
Oh, good,
In front
okay.
of, right?
All right, yep, exactly. Let's move the tripod so it's more right behind you. Okay, good, you're good. Readjust here. Okay. And then after that swing on the way through, go ahead and go all the way through, because I don't want you to get stuck. My fear is that we'll overplay the posture and then you exaggerate it well after impact. And I don't want you to feel like you get stuck there, but I really do want you to feel like you maintain that position all the way to impact, so that you've got a real good foundation to here, and then let everything come up and do what it's supposed to do. Real slow. Give me about about a 4 or 5 second total swing. Real slow. Okay. Okay. So give me about 2 seconds on the takeaway. 1001, 1002, pause, 1001, 1002, down, and reach on that 1002 on the way through. Reach and extend. Push that club out there at the target we're trying to hit the ball at. Which at this point is decently immaterial. I just want you to get the idea of head still to impact. We'll worry about alignment again later.
Okay.
Head still, reach. Yep. And then finish. Yes. Head still, reach, and finish. Good. Good. Head still, reach, and finish. And as soon as you're ready, hit one. What club do you have?
5.
Okay, 5 out of the long stuff?
It's sitting down pretty
Okay,
good.
all right.
I can get a whole club on it.
Okay, yep. Give yourself a chance at it. Head still, reach, and finish. Try to keep that your focus. Don't let anything else creep in. You feel like tin cup yet or not quite? Pretty close.
You know, I love devil's in the details.
Right? Thank you, John Wooden. I hate it when you hit it dead straight and perfect. It's really not a testament to my teaching at all. I'm sorry about that.
No. See previous video.
They probably won't appreciate the interaction as much as we do, but
So the main thing we're trying to develop here is the reel instead of the feel.
yes, the reel instead of the feel.
I will
Sure.
tell you, for 10 years or so,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Of course. Well, and not only that, when this translates into other lessons, when it translates into your own lessons that you're teaching, or when you're practicing yourself, when you practice, what eyes are watching you? I mean, I feel guilty I let you hit only a 7-iron for basically 2.5 years in your practice. And I believe, based on the things that we've done in the last 3 lessons plus this one, you'll change that a little bit. You won't just take a 7-iron out to the range.
Well, and that's also after reading Vision 54,
Yeah.
where it's 3 balls and switch.
Yep, 3 balls and switch. And that helps you maintain a little focus on something other than getting locked into how you're trying to hit the 7-iron.
Manipulate a 7-iron.
Right. That's all right. You're fine. I just it's the material or the kind of the feel, the kinesthetic idea of just keeping your head still. Because even in the pull, that was just a straight pull. It was not a pull then a hook.
Okay.
So I like that the path and the club face matched, but it wasn't drastically left.
Okay.
So there's your
So do you
9
want me to
9 ball
think about
flights. No.
Releasing?
No, we'll worry about that next. Let's kind of go serial monogamy here. Couple more of these under the noodle, but then I want you to walk right over back to your mat and feel like you're still trying to make that same move, or maybe lack of move. Great swing. Man, that was good. In the infamous words, swing easy, accept the extra distance and accuracy. Great swing. I like where you've come from with your swing path, with your plane. I think the plane is behaving more positively than it has in a number of swings in a row. You've had 1 pull so far. You hit a bunch of straighties. So in assessing what you've done, I believe there's some good progress in that alone. And I don't want you to think like Morgan Pressel or Paula Creamer chase it, but it's not a bad idea for you to keep your head still, especially in your practice. If you feel like you're chasing it when I'm not watching or somebody's not watching in your own practice, that's a really good idea, because it's almost as though it looks like you're kind of chasing it with your head kind of last through the golf swing. So if we need a feel thought, if your head is the last thing through the golf swing, your head has stayed still. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Sort of?
Yep.
Okay.
But I mean, even me, you could ask me, oh, I chased it like this.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
In actuality, it's that.
Yeah, but how much of a difference is there? Probably 10 yards, probably 5 degrees of miss, or, you know, with shrinking the miss with 5 degrees, or 5 degree shrinkage of the miss. Easy for me to say. Good swing. Okay, so without thinking, without doing anything, let's wander right over to the mat. If I can adjust it without making everybody sick. Head's the last thing through the swing. Good swing. Good swing.
Thank you.
And that's where release comes in. So that's exactly what I wanted to see. Is I wanted to see if there was going to be a little fade in that, which there was. Good swing. Does that golf swing feel athletic? More athletic? It appears from lesson 1 to lesson 4 that it is a lot more freed up. And that's a feel idea, but it is a lot less mechanical. And if I was going to give you some pre-shot routine thoughts, that would be one of those. The garbage in, garbage out Gary McCord idea of getting away from being too mechanical when you take this out to the golf course. So working through these other clubs, throwing you into something that you're not used to, and keeping you on your toes with not just hitting a 7-iron, those kind of things, I believe puts you in a space that you're actually practicing to play golf as opposed to practicing to practice.
But back to more athletic, it feels like it's going back together and coming through together.
Okay.
If
Does it feel like less effort? Maybe that's a better question.
I'm so used to
Disassociate effort from thinking.
But my standard operating procedure is trying to coordinate 15 things at once.
Right.
That's normal.
Right.
That's not normal for good golfers.
Sure. Okay.
So
are we reducing the amount of things that need to be coordinated?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That's progress. I like that kind of progress.
I had to go left.
You did.
It's definitely more solid.
Stay inside of that on your takeaway, which should be easy to do because you want to turn. And you want to really turn, not fake a turn. Yeah, baby. Okay, there's where we need release.
Okay.
So, the physical idea of the release of the golf club is, to you, what does that mean? Okay. So the club goes from, if I'm going to use my hand as my club head, club goes from open back here to square at impact and past square after impact. How do I get it to square? How do I do that? because I can't hold it square, or I manipulate my hands at the top, and that's how we have all those junior golfers that have their wrists all twisted up. So I've got to open it up, but I don't believe you need to think about that. I think you need to think about simply the release. So let's back down to an 8-iron. And I know these clubs are a little, got a little bigger head size, a little harder to manipulate. But what I want you to do is I want you to worry about literally closing the golf club on the way through, right hand rolling the golf club on the way through.
But what that happened, how that manifests itself in me is that.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Because my head's going toward the target.
Right.
It's tilting away.
Right. So
Okay.
we're gonna work on simply keeping your body very still, and I want half swings, and I want you to simply only roll the club only. It will help you to worry about posture, staying still, but all of this is an arm swing of roll and release. Roll and release. Okay. You're athletic enough. We can explain that a lot more defined, but I don't want to add tension. I don't want to muddle the process here. The club rolls open by itself. Your duty is to help roll and release it. Okay? Smaller swing.
Okay.
Less effort. Give me I want you to try to hit this about 120 yards. And the release happens on the way to impact, not at impact. I lost it. Where'd it go?
Even with the blue flag, a little past it.
Okay.
So that's about
100
over
and something.
120.
Okay.
But for some reason, when I think release, I come up with these thin shots, and I don't know.
I think it's because you. A couple of reasons. I believe it's because you're decelerating. Because instead of releasing, you're steering. So
Okay.
you're not real confident in the move, and especially the move from about 4 inches in front of the golf ball to about 8 inches after the golf ball.
So that if you're in a bad position here, you're not thinking about swinging the club. You're
Right.
thinking about.
You're thinking about mitigating the damage on the way. Keeping the miss the least that it can be.
So this is a problem within itself. So from here
Yep.
to here.
Yep. So you have, what is that? Is that basically half a circle? You have 180 degrees to rotate the club, 45 open, back, 45 close. So you've got twice as many degrees as you need to move the club to release it. So you've got time. Don't force it at the end. Let it kind of build, because as the club gets longer, and now it creates an issue again with its size. I have to think about the release on the way to impact, not just at impact. A wedge or a 9-iron, something like that, the shorter clubs, I can get away with trying to release at impact because of how short the club is and how much loft it has. As the club gets longer and I throw that 5-iron in your hand, you can't make the timing of a sand wedge work that you would a 5-iron for a 5-iron. Too much swing. Too much swing. It's almost the same way that people hit a knockdown shot poorly when they pull it that way. It seems like it's the same thing for you. You're trying to get steep. None of your planes change. In fact, exaggerate the width of the plane because it gives you more degrees of loft to work with, or more degrees of swing to work with. When you shorten that angle by making the swing steep, you're giving yourself less time to make the timing work. Close. Pretty good swing.